This is James with Simetar. I've got a short tutorial on how to use Simetar to simulate a multivariate normal probability distribution. We've got a worksheet here with 6 variables. We could have more than 6 variables, and I've got 16 observations. We could have certainly more than 16 observations, but that fits on the screen. I've calculated the average here for each of these variables, because our function MV norm requires 2 parameters, the means or your forecasted values, so you could have observation 17, 18, or 19 here, and the covariance of your random variables. Now to calculate our covariance matrix, we simply are going to use the Simetar word or tab. We're going to our Simetar ribbon and correlation matrix, highlight our random variables with their labels, add, and tell it we want to use a covariance matrix, and then click OK. This gives us a complete covariance matrix. Good enough. Now, to simulate a multivariate distribution, we have to highlight all of the cells under the names for all the random variables that are going to be in this probability distribution. We don't want to do this one cell at a time. In other words, we cannot do it one cell at a time if we want it to be truly multivariate. So we're going to enter an array function. So we type equal MV norm, left parenthesis. I'm going to use a function editor to help us out here a little bit. Highlight the means. Then I'm going to highlight the entire covariance matrix, like that. Then I'm going to type the word true so that this will always calculate. Now I am not going to click on OK. This will not work if you click OK. You have to hold down the control key, hold down the shift key, and then press enter. Let me repeat that. Hold down the control key, hold down the shift key, and then press enter. And we now have 6 random numbers. Every time we press F9, we're going to get random values. Now I'm going to simulate these using the simulation engine. I'm going to clear out anything that's there. Tell it the label is on my left and above. Okay. And so my label should be a concatenation of MVN and variable 1. Say add output and simulate. And now I have 500 observations for 500 iterations for my 6 random variables. And they are actually correlated. We can do multivariate validation test on this. And it looks like this. We come to a hypothesis test, compare 2 random variables. The series 1 is our original data, which is here with labels. Series 2 are the 500 simulated values. Now this could work with more than 500 or less than 500, whatever your sample size is. And then tell it their labels and say OK. And it comes back and it performs 3 tests. These are multivariate distribution tests. The first one is a 2-sample Hotelling t-test. Has a test value of 0, a critical value of 12, and a p-value of 1, meaning there's a 100% chance that I reproduce the vector of means that I had to start with. In other words, I failed to reject the null hypothesis that the means vectors are equal. The next test is Box's M-test. And Box's M-test tests if the covariance matrix associated with the simulated data is statistically equal to the covariance matrix for your original input data. And we fail to reject the null hypothesis on that. And the complete homogeneity test, the third one, is a test of simultaneously if the mean vector and the covariance matrices are equal. They are. We fail to reject the null hypothesis on that, as you can see. And so that means that we have actually validated our random numbers. This is a step that's generally ignored in simulation models. If you have questions, contact me, and I'll be happy to try to answer your questions.